sometime between them. Before I forget. Get all my goodies. I'm gonna collect these because we don't know if maintenance is gonna just go over the time. The update. Okay. Let's move on to the official patch note. And after we're done this, we'll call it a day. Alright, here we go. So, on today's patch, it'll be featuring the new legendary Ardor player, Navi. You can see the regular evolution is much like all the legend players where they change form. So it's kind of like Jiho. She gains a little fang. If I could just zoom in on this somehow. But she has a little fang. For some reason, the BB is pretty obsessive with insisting she is a bubbly character. So look at all these little bubbles on the left side, and then they explode on the right side. These are all bubbles. Okay, the ace is Grand Maestro. Ground Maestro, so max HP increased by 20%. Maverick, thanks for the follow. Hope you enjoy your stay, and welcome to the stream. Grand Maestro is increased the max HP by 20%, attack speed, which is action speed, consistency here, by 15%, and critical resistance by 15%. It is a mono ace, so you do get an ace burst from this one, okay, because it is only for Ardor player. You do get an ace burst, and ace burst is like plus 25%, I think. It's quite a bit, so I'm pretty sure this goes up to like 27% HP. Overall, as an ace, this is actually really good. Action speed and critical resistance are both desirable, 15%. With ace burst, it goes up to around 20, so 20 is very respectable. It is basically having a totem. And if you look at mono Ardor backline, you get Kevin, Death Queen, Jiho, and those are about the typical 3 you get. And then people usually put in like a Shu or a Gafio, right? There are no critical resistance besides Kevin in there. And Kevin is, the Rose is not really critical resistance, it's decreased the enemy crit. It's kind of a different thing. And it's important to note that because critical resistance is better than decreasing critical rate. And I'll explain this later, but the example I'm talking about is Longshot. We move down to Passive 1. Passive 1 is decrease the HP recovery effect of the enemy by 50% and increase the damage they receive by 10% with with a pass for 1 minute. Okay, I know it sounds really good, and it is in many ways. It's pretty effective against healing goalkeepers, which is a lot of people's complaint. However, it will not dissuade people from running a healing goalkeeper for many reasons. You are decreasing the enemy recovery effect by 50%, so 50% on top of 50% makes it just 75%. This is the pre-gravity down patch, where people that were running healing from long ago, from Season 1 and Season 2, the heal was already down to only 25% effectiveness. Essentially, it was not... Many people said it was not noticeable, but this is what the effect does. It also lasts only for 1 minute. And because it is built into her passive, you can only say that it will be effective guaranteed by using her own active. Otherwise, it's very unlikely you will be able to proc this passive effect, get the ball to a player, and then shoot it. One of the counter plays against this is to simply run action speed decrease, right? So if your backline consists of characters like Black Ivy or Alice, or just having a Metatron of your own that would somehow essentially block your opponent from being able to shoot at you for within that 1 minute, this passive is not that strong. It's a very good passive, but it's not a strong passive. It is tempting, however, that if you do want to run Nabi in the front line, it could be a thing, especially in PvE. If you want to prevent the enemy from attacking, you could run a Nabi that's fast enough, and then you pair her with an assist that passes very often, so a character like Skye. Nabi and Skye as a frontline unit is actually a pretty good way to seal your opponent from healing. And because it can't really heal, it's okay if you don't do a ton of damage. It's one of the few combinations you can think of. Moving on to passive 2. It's called Presto, and it says Presto 2, which is indicating this is a skill that gets upgraded. You can now tell in Extreme Evolution, you either get the third passive or the first passive, okay? It's very likely the Extreme Evolution is going to be the third one. Ancient's Commander, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy your stay. Presto 2 is increased reflex by 30% and action speed by 30% in the assigned position. Basically, it's going to be on... people will plan on running her in the mid line, whether it's center mid or just somewhere in the mid. She is an Ardor player, so typically players will already run Victoria, and you don't want to move Victoria from her ideal position. She only has 2. So Nabi is either going to be center mid or on the right side. On the right side is usually your line breaker. And Ardors do not specifically have really powerful line breakers that are center mid. Even if they do run Choi, it's very unlikely to run a Choi in center mid. They usually run Erica or Leah. So for a mono Ardor, Nabi is most likely a center mid character. For this very reason. And this is how we're going to deduce it. Having reflect with 30% is very good. Victoria gives 50%, that's 80%. So that means your last unit, Choi, Rona, Death Queen, Jiho, whatever it is you could do run a third unit, you probably don't need reflex. So overall, this is a very simple passive, but very effective. Action speed is desirable. Yeah, Sage is actually really good. If you run Victoria Nabi, you could run Sage as the last one, and it would be a very respectable decision. An attacker with 80% reflex built into them is no laughing matter, especially with Rona. Sage has lower reflex than Rona, but Sage is very capable. He does have a bonus. Passive 3 is Volet. It increased attack power by 100% and critical resistance by 50% when being stolen or attacked. This passive is basically Jury's. Right? You get 50% less attack power bonus, but you get 50% critical resistance when being attacked or stolen from. This is pretty important because she will be penetrated. Especially if you do run Navi in center mid. The chances are enemy Kuro is going to be in the back line, enemy Metatrons will try to attack. Having critical resistance against enemy Metatron is very important because Metatron tend to build reflex and they run battalion, so they can't really... They won't be able to break through Navi pretty easily. It will give you a lot of second chances. Dequan over here is suggesting running double HP Navi. That could be a thing. It sounds silly, but it could be a thing. You could even consider running the Erica build I used to use when Erica had the Pass Effect passive. You just built her as a reflect cannon. I don't think Navi should run that though. It's not completely silly, but I mean, there's a reason why you don't run that as much. It's because Navi is going to be faster than Erica, no matter what. It worked really well on Erica because Erica was naturally slow. On Navi, it could be good, but I think it'd be better if you run something like Bond of Silence. Or even running just a center mid, Endless Burning Matter could be very effective. As you guys can see in the developer note, they're very insistent on saying Navi is very bubbly. Like right here. It says bubbly Navi. The next character is the very talked about Whirlwind Legend. Her name is Miri. You can see the Extreme Evolution. I actually like Miri. I think Miri's design looks better than Navi. I think they're both good, but I just like Miri's design more. Just comparing these two. Okay, for Miri, her ace is Successor of the Dragon Kingdom. It is kind of like Navi, so increase max HP by 20%, critical rate by 25%, attack power of Whirlwind plays by 20%. Have you guys been noticing a trend? I know there's only 2 legend players, but this is suggesting you what the next ace are going to be for the following 3 legendary players remaining. They do all share max HP by 20% in common, and there's a very good chance they all share a mono ace. This one's attack speed and critical resistance. This one is critical rate and attack power. There's probably a combination of like decreased damage or a penetration ace, which is what we probably don't want to see more of, but it does give Light a chance to have a penetration ace. And they'll probably put it at around 15%. Judging from this. All speculation, of course. Moving on, her active is Psychologic 2. It consumes the remaining spirit bar by 1 bar and then increases attack power by 50% and critical rate by 20% per 1 spirit bar. Okay, so for those who aren't sure how this works, is basically you subtract the bar and then you calculate how many bars you have left. That's how it works. It's you use up your spirit, and then she will try to attack, and then during the attempt to attack, it will calculate how many remaining bars she has. Why do we do this? It's because one of her passive will give her spirit. spirit region by stealing it. So obviously, if you had 3 bars, it'll go down to 2, and then if she steals enough, it goes back up to 3. Then it'll count as 3 bars. However, if she shoots at 1 and then uses it, it's not automatically 0. It could be go back up to 1, depending on how much she steals. And basically, that's how it works. Passive 1 is Call Out Winds and Rain. Increase critical damage by 2% per 5% of critical rate. This is kind of a funny thing. It increases her critical damage based on her critical rate. So this is why Inox was making a joke earlier about it. You can decrease Miri's crit damage by lowering her, just lowering her crit rate. Overall, I think this will be her weakness. It'd be an interesting passive. It depends on how Big Ball codes it, though. I do think they probably use a very simple method, which means it can potentially decrease so much crit rate that she can have negative crit damage. Not sure, but I think they wouldn't try to make things overly complicated. They haven't done it in the past, and the recent characters, they tend to do the same thing, which is why they had that previous patch note earlier where they're saying counterattack resistance could drop below 0. So I'm pretty sure if you could just decrease enough crit rate, you can actually have Miri have negative crit damage. Almost impossible, but it can happen. Passive 2 is Water Sprout. It steals 15% of spirit and increases your dribble by 25% of the dribble of the enemy currently in the assigned position when shooting or receiving a pass. Oh my god, could this be any longer? This is basically what you think it is. It is Bora's. It is essentially Bora's old passive. Even the stealing of the spirit, it's the old passive of Bora. Instead of having a fixed number, you steal more. Of course, she does steal like more than Damien and Bora. 25% of the current dribble. It is not base dribble, it is current dribble. And it is based on the enemy she's targeting. So, as you guys know, the interaction with Kyros and I think Kyro's like the only one, right? Oh, I know, like Kyro and herself, Navi and Jiri. Basically anyone, even characters with Battalion. Oh my god. Remember, guys, don't run Battalion in front of Miri. You can't, or Thousand Watchers, because you kind of give her more dribble to steal. It seems kind of silly, but because of how they word it, you do actually end up stealing the dribble when you receive a pass. Okay, but when you steal the dribble, it is an immediate on and off. It's kind of like Gaffio's one. It's kind of like Gaffio's where he gives protection when attacking, so it doesn't really affect your line, but the spirit does go through. The dribble does not get stolen twice, so you don't end up with 50% of the effective amount of dribble. You just end up with 25%. Damien doesn't get the boost. What? I swear Damien stole it. Let's look this up. Damien! Oh, he does. He just... Wait a minute. What? Well, Damien doesn't actually steal, so Damien only gets the boost. He just scales with the attack. He steals the attack, but not the boost from Thousand Water Battalion. Offense first and then defense second. I think it makes sense. I guess that's how also the Carol interaction works, right? If your Carol attacks, you steal the attack and then the defensive Carol steals your attack. So they end up stealing more attack because you stole more attack from them. At any rate, I really don't think most people will do that anyways, but it's still good to note. You wouldn't run a backline battalion anyways. Even against Kieran, you probably wouldn't. Okay, and the third passive is Spirit Condensation. Increase the equipped Spirit Stone effects by 25% and critical rate by 35%. So needless to say, everyone is just honed in on the first part. Increase your equipped Spirit Stone effect by 25%. This is pretty important. If you run a Penetration Stone, Penetration Stones are 18%. Right? You're increasing it by 25%. You're essentially getting 4.5. You get 4.5 more penetration per penetration stone. Miri being a whirlwind, it kind of goes without saying that you're very tempted to run double green penetration stone. So you get a heck of a lot of increase of receive pass and get a heck of a lot of penetration. So her dribble will be pretty freaking high. Increasing Spirit Stone effects do increase substats, I believe. And it works just like a Prestige. Oh wait, no, it doesn't work like Prestige. This is equipped, never mind. So Endless Burning Matter actually does not affect her more, because it has to be Miri's equipped Spirit Stones. I don't think this talks about other Spirit Stones that are not equipped on her. So Silent Cold will not give her extra bonus. I'm gonna need confirmation on that, but I think that's how it works with the wording. I don't even have Prestige, so I'm not sure. But I feel like Prestige 1 is differently. Jiho and Alos have been changed to classic stars because of these two. You can get them from Scout. So the Scout rotation for legend players will also change up. The mileage draw, so now you get some more value from your free mileage. Legendary classic player pick ticket, so you can buy them with the 900 dimension stones as well. Wait, there's a legendary classic star pick ticket. That is not the same as the dimension shop. Were you guys aware of this? There's a legendary star player, classic star player pick ticket, and a legendary classic star player box. These are things that weren't in the game before. So they're hinting that there might be a purchasable pick ticket. I don't know, I mean, you guys kind of read the patch notes with me, right? Well, this is my first time reading it, so I'm just going over every little detail. Oh, Legendary Classic Star Player Box. Yes, that is indeed the level 31, so they do exist. The pig ticket, however, is definitely new. Because I've never seen that one, ever. And Dimension Shop is a separate one. You can see by that comma over here, it is a separate section. So they are not the same. Okay, so next up we have the Extreme Evolution Sage. There was a lot of hype. He is officially the last of the Season 1 characters to get an Extreme Evolution. He was also the first character to get the skin. During the upgrade, he gets an increase to his active, which is increased attack power by 10% and critical rate by 10%. This is pretty pathetic, honestly. It doesn't really change anything, and no one really cares. Dribble technique, it goes to Sparkling technique, which is obviously due to the background you get here. You decrease the inflicted damage by 40% and increase the critical rate by 30% and attack power by 30%. Okay, it's a slightly bigger upgrade than when I read it the exact first time when I was about to explain it to you guys. I actually went and reread the top sentence, and here's the part I'm talking about. Let me see if I can highlight this. No, I can't. I mean, oh my god. Anyways, if you read here, it says, when you have the ball, and then you increase your attack power by 15%. And this one says, increase critical rate and attack power by 30%. It went from a conditional one that only gives you attack power to doubling it, and you have a passive 40%. Hopefully. Because this is the same kind of text they put on Leah. And I kept telling people they didn't change anything about Leah, and it was a conditional critical rate. If this is true, this sage is the new Duke for Ardor. A passive 40% damage decrease is really strong. It's kind of like Beth. And he is an attacker, so he will reflect a ton of damage, given that he has a built-in attack power bonus. Yeah, they even talk about it here. The dribble technique conditions have been elevated, so he can move more freely, so I'm pretty sure this means he would just have this on all the time. So this is actually a pretty nice upgrade. Not that much stronger, but strong. Selena's Holiday has been added to the game. You guys can't get this when you guys pre-register. The active is you get 30 stamina. So it's basically a Gerald. This is a trainer, obviously, so you increase game experience by 50%. She's pretty good to have if you're gonna equip her overnight. So when you wake up, you can have her and Gerald and you get 60 stamina. You pretty much wouldn't equip any other trainer in the slot right beside him, unless you have the managers from the previous whaling. Then their effect might be as good. Next one is Eve. Holiday. She also does the same thing, so of course if you don't want to equip Selena, you can equip Eve. They both do the same thing. Doesn't really matter. I'm pretty sure they also share the same spot too. It is to note that Eve is dark and Selena's Ardor, so if you guys haven't stocked them on Elemental and you do end up receiving her, those are the kind of Elemental you should keep on hand. Next up is the premium skins. The premium skin is Kieran, and you get one for Hero. Kieran and Hero. You get 2 of them. Wow. And these are for the girls that play Soccer Spirit. Lovely. for those of you guys that aren't aware, possessing the skin, so when you buy the skin, you don't have to equip the skin, but by buying one of the skins, you get the +2 stat built into your character, whether you use a skin or not. So there is a skin buff. Of course, on Kieran, it doesn't really matter. This guy already has 3 skins with this one. I can't keep track. I don't think Hero actually had that many skins, but the Hero skin is probably another skin upgrade for him. There is a festival pack. The festival pack will include Erica, awesome skin, Festival Yuri, the new Kieran, the Royal Vermilion Bird, Virtuous Cynthia, and Hero. Pretty interesting pack. Answer X Magnus. The Guilty Gear collaboration has begun. Answer X Magnus is the first of the collaboration. They have noted there will be a second one. This is a pretty interesting skin for Magnus. I know for those of you guys that actually play Guilty Gear, there are a ton of them. A ton of potentials. There is May. Fred is actually gonna enjoy that a lot, right? Because I remember Fred playing, when he was streaming, he was playing Guilty Gear, and he was running a really strong May. Personally, I like using Jam. Jam was pretty good. I need to make sure I'm getting the right fighting game characters. That's why I'm stuttering and I'm thinking. Pretty sure that was the group. Guilty Gear characters. Let's make sure we get that right before we make a goof of ourselves, yeah? Where is our roster? Yeah, okay. You're gonna have May, there's Milia, Rage. You get the Cat Kiske, you get Soul Bad Guy. The Cheetos May. I look forward to Jam. Jam was my character. Of course, there's also Dizzy, and I'm pretty sure everyone go like Dizzy and Metatron. It almost makes no sense not to put them together. One of the annoying characters probably Potemkin. Faust? Faust will be interesting to see which one's gonna end up as Faust. I feel like there's gonna be an Axel Low K. I'm kind of cheating because I'm just looking at the entire roster of Guilty Gear, and this first character just comes to mind. I'm pretty sure that's how it's gonna end up, something like that. Moving on. characters available in the weekend draw will be changed. The following characters will be added into the game, and it'll be changed to Sage, Kieran, Carpilla, Harang the Shaman, Afnar, William, and Miri. Oh my god, this is actually a pretty good way to draw. I could use some Harang the Shaman SPUs, I could use a William, I could use a Miri. The following one is gonna be Bora, Black Tortoise, Vaughn, Cheetos, Pinot. Pinot is gonna be pretty interesting, Leventer, and Navi. They're also introducing Galaxy Live. Have you guys... Was it before here? I don't think. Let me just pull up a little. Okay, never mind. This GM account, have you guys seen it? This is the account. 6 million crystal. The dream. 22,000 GP. Of course, GP never lasts. Club Match. You can now see Club Match actually has the 2 ball on the UI. That's a little bit interesting. You can remind yourself if you did your ever so lovely club matches that everyone loves doing. The little Galaxy League. The 1000 being off-center kind of bugs me. Hopefully they fix that. This thing, it's... I mean, there's no reason why it's not in the middle. Galaxy Live. Galaxy Live can be... You can be entered by tapping on the Galaxy Live button. So, you see this one over here says regular season, quick start. Galaxy Live does not... when you click on the quick start... how do I word this? Okay. There's no entrance fee, so you can keep trying. Galaxy Live does not run on a battle ball. So you can play other matches while you're queued up to it. However, it will pull you out of the match. So as great as it sounds, don't do a PvP match. Or at least a match where it's going to be so much cost that you can't afford to be pulled out. Because I'm sure somebody's going to do something silly, like they're going to go into Galaxy Live, sign up for the queue, and then go PvP, and then get pulled out. End up losing their PvP match. There's a friendly mode. Obviously, this one you can play throughout your own server. This one does not come with a reward. The one that does match manually and played normally, okay, that has a ranking. The ranking will tally for different servers, but you can be matched against people from across the server. So you can play against players that are that aren't in your server, but you are only competing in terms of rank against players in your own server. It's good, but I prefer it if they let us have friendly matches across server as well. Hopefully it does come to that, but for now it isn't. The game mode is pretty much like the ban mode we already have when we were doing live PvP. You have 1 minute to set up your team. You can ban 1 character. You can ban 2 characters, and then you can protect 1 character from ban. Your support characters can't be seen, so it cannot be banned. There's no Spirit Stone exchanging, so this one means you better have your Spirit Stone prepared ahead of time, guys. If you have only 1 set of Spirit Stones, then good luck. This is the time to get those back up. You're gonna need it. Changing the ban players, again, just like ban mode. Rona at front. Yo, Rona the striker is incredibly powerful. Tons of damage. I swear to you, I've tried it. The environment. It's gonna be Super Gravity and Heat of the Crowd. Heat of the Crowd was mentioned in note. You can need a backup goalkeeper and striker. You probably do. But remember, you get to protect one character. Most likely, people will ban out your center mid and one your frontline support. Or just straight up ban out your striker. You're gonna need to play a little bit of mind game against people, but if you're gonna be protecting a unit, I do think you should either protect I think you should protect your secondary characters more so than your primary striker and your goalkeeper, unless you don't have a backup for them. I do know a lot of people will try to ban out these two in the low ranking. They will try to go after your goalkeeper and striker because everyone assumes that you don't have a backup. But if they do ban out your striker and your goalkeeper, it's actually really horrible for them. Because strikers and goalkeeper are surprisingly one of the easier things to replace. For example, if you ban out a Whirlwind, you ban out their Shanti, and they replace it with like a Beatrice, it is not significantly worse, okay? A strong Beatrice will still murder the characters Shanti would have. And banning out the opponent's Jhin that's in the goalkeeper, they could just put it in Black Tortoise, which is almost equally as strong. So, I mean, just by example, you can do that. Ardor is the same thing, right? You ban out their William, they put in Kyoko. Unless you're specifically running Presti, it doesn't make a huge difference. Hello, Bleh. Welcome, my friend. So overall, I do think the two bans will probably go in your center mid and it'll be one of your support. And then you just use your protect on either one of your key characters, or you protect your striker or your goalkeeper. If you ban out Angela, all they have is Lucian. Somewhat true. Somewhat true. Somewhat true. I mean, it greatly affects Mono Ardor. However, Mono Ardor, if they are smart, they'll probably just protect Angela, and they don't care if you ban out their striker. It's pretty easy to replace. William, Char, Kyoko, all three of them are pretty strong, and you can't ban them all out at once. Against Mono Ardor, honestly, if they don't protect their goalkeeper, I guess you can ban it out and test if they run a good Lucian. They probably don't. If they do protect their goalkeeper, just ban out their Victoria. Just ban out their Victoria and ban out Renee from their front line. I'm pretty sure that's how you're gonna dismantle a Mono Ardor. Or you can just ban out the obnoxious Shu. Ban Shu, ban Victoria. There you go. Pretty disruptive to them. A lot of them rely on Victoria, so they're not going to protect Victoria because they're busy protecting a goalkeeper, so you can just target their other carry. No, I don't mean Shu and Choi. If they run Choi with a Victoria in mid, if you ban out the Victoria, that Choi is weak. you can... A Choi without Victoria supporting him is actually really weak. Especially if you can attack him first. Choi chickens out pretty hard. Shu is a lot more obnoxious, especially if they run him in the back because of the heal. But they do have Gaffio, so you could just ban out Shu for the sake of preventing one of the double attacks from being annoying. But I would always target Victoria, and then I'll target either Shu or their assist, like Renee, depending on how I just see their front line. There's probably different responses to different setups. Like against Thunder, you'd be really tempted to ban out Clade, and then they would assume you wouldn't go after their striker because Laventer, Blade, and Griff with the new stone is gonna be really strong. How do you view the shoot and block and reflect shot back mechanic? It's not a big deal. It's honestly not a big deal. I'm gonna get to that in just a moment though. So hang on to that. I'm not forgetting you. We'll get to that as soon as I hit the lower part. Okay, the progress, blah 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 blah. Okay, this is the bigger deal. The environment where heat of the crowd is increase the damage dealt to enemies from all players by 5% every 5 minutes. You end up doing more damage as the match goes on, so a stall team actually is pretty bad. You end up taking more and more damage if you can't hold out, and you can't finish out your opponent. This is pretty much the way to prevent people from stalling out during a live PvP match from crippling the server. So get out those high damage strikers because this is for you. If you always hated Presti and Ladio's team, this is pretty good against them. Blah! Thanks for the follow, man. Hope you enjoy your stay. Okay. Moving on, the seasons last 3 weeks and the preseason lasts 1 week, so every month is one rotation. Every month you get one of the rewards. The rewards will be crystals, a Beelzebub, or Soccer Ball select ticket will be given out according to the month. I'm not quite sure how this works, but I do think it's probably just a combination of all 3 rewards. Akuma Divine! Hello, good sir, how are you doing? We are reviewing the notes while the servers are down for maintenance. And we're going over the little details. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, so for the rewards, it's probably something like Colosseums. You will get the crystals. These are pretty flat rate, and then you get a combination of the Beelzebub and the Soccer Ball pick ticket based on your ranking. Below the 21% reward, it sounds really mean, but honestly, if you are anywhere between a platinum and above character, you'll probably end up in the top 20% easily. A lot of players are not going to go out of their way to fight that many matches. You can also see the reward over here. This times ball. It's like this times 3, times 4, times 5. Right? This is the Beelzebub and the Soccer Ball select ticket thingy. I'm pretty sure you can trade in these tickets and then you can pick up one of the Beelzebub or pick up a Soccer Ball. And it'll probably be up to like your choice. Or some combination of that. The Soccer Ball skins are like these. You can see Galaxy Live Open, the blue and red swirl. Kind of look like 2 twisting phoenix or dragons. Depends on how you look at it. The crown one for a 3-year anniversary. Neat little thing. It's a little bit of tidbit for your game, but it doesn't really take away from anything. So no harm, no foul. I like it. Next one is the Colosseum of Infinity. This is a pretty big deal. This Colosseum is the one that locks you into a team where you can only switch the support, and only the support. And you keep all your current HP. However, remember, unlike the club matches, your skills do reset. It's just your HP state won't. Okay, this is a pretty important detail a lot of people seem to be missing over. Your skills cooldowns do reset, so if you do run a rapid burst team, it could actually work. It will work because you can still repeat spamming it over and over. And if your idea of, instead of healing and just doing a ton of damage, you can go for it. Healing is not the only way to go. It is probably one of the first things you think of, and it will work. It does give a lot of value to players that run Latios. Kind of goes without saying, right? Because being able to recover HP for your entire team is pretty good, and it's not hindered by super gravity. Your support player can be changed after every match, and this is the one that gets HP restored each time. This is a pretty crucial one. You probably want to switch your support character based on where you run them in the mid. If you run them in the mid, or you run them as an elemental support. It should probably make the striker the support. Yeah, it's pretty smart. What would you say is the best few characters to get when you are new to the game? I just started Soccer Spirit this week, and so far I'm loving the game. The best few characters to get in this game are Lin Mei or Sammy, whichever one you run into first. These are forward pass characters, and they heal your team. Both of them do pretty much the same thing to give action bar. They're very common, right? They're just 5-star units. They fit in any team, practically. Lin Mei more so than Sammy, because Lin Mei has Inspiring, which is a very powerful passive skill that buffs the entire line. It's a very popular passive skill that everyone loves. It gives reflex, it gives critical rate, it's really good, and you can use it regardless of mode. So Lin Mei and Sammy are two characters pretty good you want to pick up. In addition to these two, you should look for an assist. This is the character that passes horizontally, whereas Lin Mei and Sammy passes vertically. Those are forward pass. So horizontal assist characters that you want to look for are usually Scylla. Evelynn is also really good. And I think those two are the most popular ones. Yeah. And then you would want to pick up a striker. Shanti or Char or Lucid, or any of those three, are probably one of the packaged characters you want to get, or just have at least a copy of. And that pretty much rounds up 5 characters for your team, and then everything else you can just fit into whatever you like, really. Like, most important part of this game, obviously, you play to have fun. There's nothing that's really completely crucial, like it would become game-breaking not to get, but a lot of these characters are pretty suitable for multiple conditions. And of course, legendary players are always good, right? There's no reason to pass them up. They're rare, everyone obviously wants them. It goes without saying. I'm still streaming, yes I am. We are going through the notes and then we'll stop. Currently I'm running a dual build with Dark and Light. Just got Lucifer for my ace currently. If I'm not having good pan character for my mid, so would you say be good throw in until you got what you're looking for. Stream time! Man, I need to get that bot working. I'm sorry, I forgot. I keep forgetting to add the Nightbot in. Um, honestly, you should run a 4-star character. Just so you know, Bleh, the stream has been live for 2 hours and 27 minutes. A good pennant character does not need to be 5-star. You'll look for your 3 stars and 4-star pools. Characters like Valkia, Mira, or Eden are good characters to just penetrate into the midline. Midline is the least important position when you're starting out the game. The only important part about the midline is you want to get the ball to the front line where you can shoot it. That's about it. But when you're starting out, obviously you don't have access to a ton of characters to choose from, so you pretty much just make do with whatever 4-star you get. Just stack a bunch of attack power in the midline. So again, like Valkia has a built-in attack power totem. Valkia is a 4-star, so it's really common, very easy to max her out, and she's extremely powerful. Rival characters are also pretty good for this as well. Didi and... what is the other character? Jay. Or even the current ones right now, the current rivals right now. They're pretty good when you're starting out. Of course, if you have none of these characters, look for a forward pass character. Or a long pass, like putting Clarissa into your backline. Clarissa, again, is a 4-star character. She's very valuable. You can use her all the way up until Diamond, honestly. A lot of people underestimate the power of 4-star characters, and I do hope you will learn to appreciate them, because a lot of people struggle because they throw in too many 5-star characters that actually don't do as much. Or they're 5-star characters that they haven't been able to invest into. So look into your 4-star characters. Pick up a few good ones. You don't have to scout them. They just kind of come to you when you try to do draws anyways, every day. So just keep an eye out on them. And just add them to your team as it works. Clarissa, Mira, Eden, Valkia, Ari are the top 4-star characters you should look for. And you can just splash them about into your team wherever you have a slot missing, and then it'll make it a lot easier for you. Is it better to run yellow crit damage, red crit damage on Prism? Yellow crit damage, green pen, yellow pen or green pen, or yellow pen, red crit damage on hero with Shard of Balmung. Oh my god. Honestly, with Shard of Balmung, there's no reason to run red crit damage in Prism. You already have a Shard of Balmung. Green pen is probably the better one. Yellow pen, green pen are probably the better combination. If that's what you have. Especially if you're running Belfion and Elaine, like, you're not gonna have penetration, right? Elaine gives a little bit of damage increase, but running 36% more penetration is a lot more damage than you're gonna get from a damage increase from crit damage. And it also works in case you don't crit. For me, I would usually have my Lucifer play in my center mid position so that I can have him be my stealer, and training up my mid right now so that I can get into the front line with light strikers. I know I got one, and I forgot her name, but she's the one that when every time you take a shot, you get 20% HP back. Oh, you get Latios. Hero can have pretty good crit rate. There's many ways to get crit rate onto hero, but his hero's crit rate kind of comes from Elaine, because Elaine and Belfion are both really fast. So he kind of procs Elaine active, and it'll give 15 to 30% crit rate to his hero before he shoots anyways. There's hero and then the YOLO hero. Don't worry about your striker getting killed in the front line. Their objective is obviously to shoot the ball, and preferably you win as soon as you shoot. However, characters like Latios is pretty hard unless you actually have a lot of resources to back her up. She's pretty hard and very unlikely to be the kind of striker to one-shot the enemy. Does YOLO hero work without rerolling? Yes, it does. It does. I've seen it. I felt it. It hurts a lot. Yeah, you should throw in an assist to set up Latios. Don't ever worry about your striker going down. Once you start playing the game a lot, you'll realize basically every character in your team will die. They will die. And obviously the only one that really matters if they die or not is your goalkeeper. So just let it happen. When you have trouble getting the ball back to the front line, it's because you are not preparing a backup plan. So generally, if you rely on counter-attacking to get to the front line, that's one method. You want to at least have two. Usually is pen power or forward pass or long pass. So again, Clarissa, Lin Mei, Sammy, look for these characters. There are other ones. I'm just giving you very common and easy to find characters. Forward pass and long pass are a good way to get the ball to the front line, especially if you are struggling to pen through the mid. Alright, that looks like we are done through all the questions for now. Let's go on, moving on. Champion matches. So, in Coliseum of Infinity, guys, you can run into a champion match. The champion match are gatekeepers and swirlies. This is an important note. It means all champion matches that you run into in Coliseum of Infinity. I keep trying to call it Tower Infinity because Blade and Soul. Oh my god. But Coliseum of Infinity, the champion matches are always Gatekeeper and Swirly. And then you can acquire 5-star Swirlies or Gatekeepers from them. The Pool of Great Thunder. Ooh. She's been a lifesaver. If you pull Glade, that's really good. Glade is amazing. Raclet is less than Glade, but Raclet should not be looked down upon. Raclet can be pretty strong. When you lose a match in Coliseum of Infinity, your record will be saved and then you end up back on the first floor. You get 1 retry per attempt. Oh yeah, you got Glade. Yes, you got the really good one. you got one of the strongest goalkeeper in the game currently. Uh, that's the best one. That's one of the better ones. I I don't want to use the word best. Okay, that's not how it rolls in this stream. I'm sorry. I apologize. But she is definitely one of the better goalkeepers. Try to invest in her. You'll be able to use her for a very long time, and you won't regret it. You will absolutely not regret it for a very long time. Uh, do note she is really good, but not invincible. So whirlwind will destroy you anyways. It kind of happens. It just kind of does. Yeah, she needs help, and she does need support. She gets significantly better as your backline gets better. She scales with your backline, so your performance with Glade, you will notice, is kind of like a roller coaster. You can get her at the start because you have nothing else. She will seem kind of strong, and then you'll get somewhere into the mid game where people have a general compilation of a team, and then you might not have everything ideal for Glade, so you'll feel like Glade is a little squishy. And then you'll start getting the optimal characters for Glade, and then you'll find she's really strong. So just remember, lock her. Use that little star button. When you click on the character, there's a little lock on the upper left. It's a blue star. Click on that. Make sure it's orange. Lock her. Keep her in. Upgrade her. And then once you get her invested, she'll pull through. The default environment will be set as Heatwave. Oh my god. Colosseum Infinity, why do you do this? Nuria, Nikita, Altair are pretty common for Glade, yeah. You're not limited to those, by no means. Especially if you want to branch out. Uh, don't be tunneled. Don't be tunnel vision. don't tunnel vision. I know for a lot of people it's really tempting when you start out and you'd be like, wow, I have a really strong blue character. I guess I'll just get every blue character, and then you end up with a mono team. So as long as you don't tunnel vision, as you play the game, you'll get an idea of what you want to do. I'm not gonna tell you what you need to do because that's kind of the experience of the game, right? I'll let you enjoy that part. Once you're Thunder, you stay Thunder. Don't be afraid to experiment, honestly. Colosseum of Infinity rewards. They're pretty good. Once you pass 40%, like 30%, you hit like 60 crystals. Obviously, you try to aim for at least 10%, or 5% where you get a lot of upgrade. Is Paradise of Light good on Hercules? Yes. Yes, 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 it is. Indeed. Hercules kind of runs like Leah. Paradise of Light are good on both of them because they scale with both HP, attack power. Hercules is a attacker. Having a raw attack power is always good because you just end up reflecting a ton of damage. So yes. Akuma, let me make a comment. You are already a mid-tier player just by starting this game. The fact that you can see value on what those characters' strengths are is already amazing. It's absolutely amazing. A lot of people underestimate Lucifer, and to know that he needs steel to be better, and he could be a backline totem, it's so smart. It makes me so happy. Lucifer is really good. You might not end up having him in your team later on though. Not because he's bad, but because you probably try to find something that that's more to your playstyle. But keep in mind what you're doing with Lucifer and apply it to future characters, and you'll be a-okay. You're asking for a screenshot when the game is down. This would not be a troll. This would not be a troll stream if I don't at least get someone. Tonight it just happened to roll onto you. My apologies. Are they giving out a transfer power ticket? I don't think so. They did mention what they are giving out though. There is going to be a unique stone pick. Aha. I mean, I don't think it's a unique stone pick. I think they just say unique stone. Yeah, APU transfer is going to be insane. Dequan is going to have his plus 30 APU Duke. That's going to be something to watch out for. Beware of his team. Could have a crazy event like last time. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. Colosseum of Infinity rewards. It looks like Colosseum of Infinity works like the other Colosseum. It does seem to be a bi-weekly thing, or weekly thing. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a pick ticket. I know it is a unique stone ticket. They didn't specifically say it's a pick ticket, so I think it's a random unique box. Colosseum of Trials have been improved. Okay, this is 2 sections, okay guys? Just note, let me get your attention here. Colosseum Trials have been improved, and certain restrictions are 2 different things. Restriction applies to 4.1 and 4.5. This actually does make it a little bit harder, because your Spirit Stone will now apply onto your TA, which is why they're increasing it. So this part is a little bit more difficult. They're also changing up some of the Colosseum Trials, so whatever amount of floors you have been able to clear does not necessarily mean you will be able to clear that all the time, because they are rotating it, as mentioned in the notes. They said they will be modifying other conditions in mid-June, and then there will be different changes. The chain UI system have been changed. Main chain is what you guys already have, and then there's sub-chains being added to it. I really don't like the fact that they didn't chain the main chain. A lot of characters have really redundant chains. like Newt with like 4 friendship chains. They don't really do anything, especially on a goalkeeper. And this does not really help them. Target skill takes HP in action bar. Junis is the dark character. I used to run him. He's a really awesome character. Genuous. The chain characters, blah blah. Your chains have been reset. That's basically the bottom line. I don't like how they renamed it. More so than the fact that they changed anything. I already don't like the chain, most of the change effect. But I really don't like the name system. Why would you go from rival to competition? Rival sounds so much more. It sounds more simple, right? And it makes sense in Soccer Spirit. It's your rival, it's not your competition, it's your rival. And then there's like Nemesis and Fighting Spirit. These two aren't even, they're not even the same thing. Fighting Spirit will open once you have cleared affection, friendship, and competition. Okay, so Fighting Spirit is always locked until you can clear all your chain. The chain and the sub-chain will open when the specific main chain is open. You have to do the main chain to do the sub-chain. They nerfed the leaders a lot, which is why I'm saying Choi won't be a threat. Like, look at this. Affection is increased action speed by 10%. Friendship is 20% HP. Competition, which is rival, is the 30%. These aren't really good combat skills. Especially when you have characters like Goalkeeper, who gets everything they want. They get defense, they get HP, they get critical resistance. Assist gets pass, they get reflex, they get action speed. This does hurt center mid Ner'zhul, mind you. So it's not always good, but I mean it does hurt Ner'zhul. Defenders get defense, which is kind of pointless, really. Increased reflex, pretty good. Increased steal, pretty good. Leader, I already mentioned, is pretty... The first two are pretty useless. The last one's okay. Attacker gets increased dribble, critical rate, and critical damage. As if they didn't have enough, now you can have like a Super Duke. When you complete the main chain, you get 5 crystals, and you also get, in addition, crystals when you complete all the chain. I wonder if it's 5 crystals per one chain. Or is it you just get the first one you complete one? I think it's the first one. So that way you end up with only like 13 crystals for a 5-star. When you complete a sub-chain, you get 10 crystals. Every sub-chain, apparently, is 10 crystals. Maybe. You are right, though. They used to be 8. But you're supposed to get crystals and you get dimension stones at the same time. These translations, though, not sure. Character stories for those who love reading. William, Shu, and Navi, King, Jin, Kirill, and Miri. They left out Alos. Do you guys know this? This is not a complete set. This is not a complete set, so characters like Presti don't have it. They gave it to Navi, but they didn't give it to Presti. They have it for Duke and Valkyrie, but they don't have it for Vanchi. I'm not sure how they're writing this. Why did they do it like that? That's so weird. Like, what's the point of writing? Shouldn't you have just done all the current legends? Ayla's lore is pretty updated. That's true. The unique stones. This is a pretty hot topic. Pretty sure most of these stones are good. The crystallized crimson jade for Ardor is a jade. A crimson jade. Like a red green stone. Anyways, decrease the damage coming from enemy penetration or steal by 25%. This is good for center mid, so this is the kind of stone you might end up putting on center mid Erica's. This could replace your stone on Victoria. You could also put them on pretty much everyone in mid, honestly. Windcaller, the Whirlwind Stone. Increases the dribble by 40% with an attack, accumulates up to 3 times, increases the damage dealt to goalkeeper by 20%. Windcaller is insanely good of a stone. Like, insanely good. And before we mention how good it is, obviously, for everyone that can shoot and has a green slot, Windcaller is actually a really good stone for characters that will be duking it out in the middle. I mean, Duke does not have a green slot, but if he did, Windcaller would not be a very bad stone. It could be like kind of like Shard of Bomong. Not exactly the best, but it's not bad. Because Windcaller is a ball holding stone. One of the best combination you have with Windcaller is to stick it on Griff, the Thunder Striker. Nothing but raw attack power and just increased damage dealt. Simple, effective. Frozen Spirit Tip. Increase steal by 35%. Increase damage that the enemy on the vertical line receive by 10%. Yep, Griff with Windcaller is extremely powerful. Because you don't even care about crit. Yeah. It's an incredibly powerful combination. You don't crit. You don't even care about crit. Think about it. Your opponent builds nothing but critical resistance. He runs Black Ivy, he runs Alice, he runs Celestia. He's trying to stop you with all your crits. What do? You just shoot him. You just shoot him and he'll die. It doesn't have to be critical. His Riparion that stops critical damage doesn't stop it. The Presti Clockwork stops critical damage doesn't stop it. Griff is gonna be extremely powerful, and people that don't notice this obviously don't know how Griff works. So I'm telling you guys now, Griff is going to be insane. Get ready for it. Prepare some counterattack against it. It will happen. It will be a thing. Frozen Spear Tip is a pretty decent stone. It's not really good. You do have increased damage on the vertical line. It's probably the biggest bonus. This is much more of a PvE stone. Your 35% increase in steel is nice, but you already have Calm Icicle, which increases attack. So, like, increasing your steel by 35% is good if you're trying to steal the ball, and it's good for characters like Felix, right? Or Belle that are in center mid, or Cynthia. Or like a rerolled Kirill, apparently, from Inox, or reroll a Duke. Whatever the case, if you're gonna have a high firepower character in the center mid, because this is pretty much a center mid only stone. It's almost ludicrous if you want to put this in your back line or front line. Almost ludicrous. Not saying it's not gonna happen. You could put it in the front and put it on Celestia, really. Or like a center mid Celestia. But it's a good stone, but it's not necessarily a great stone. Judgment Radiance is a light stone. Increase attack power by 40%, action speed by 20% when holding the ball. Recovers XP by 15% of the damage dealt with an attack. It is a very strange combination. I probably will put it on my Celestia just to try it. It wouldn't hurt for me to try it on my Celestia. My Celestia currently is already doing exactly this, and giving her more steel is pretty nice. Judgment Radiance is an okay stone. This guy with the debating. Someone stop him. Overall, I rate the new light stone a decent stone. If you get it, I'm pretty sure you can make it work. It's like a more offensive version of the Paradise of Light. But I don't see it being something that you would immediately combine for. Recovering 15% of the damage dealt, you kind of do that already with your Dark Crit Stone, so it's good for PvE, but in PvE, you're using up a unique slot for this. You might as well use a Shard of Bowmung and just deal more damage. Ampoule from Canrel. The increased pass effect by 35%, increased critical rate of allies currently in a position by 10%. Well, kind of goes without saying, this is a Shura stone, right? You kind of put this stuff on Shura, hammers, pretty much any accessible dark slot. However, do note this stone is not as good as it seems. The increased pass effect is pretty much like Silent Cold, right? If you run a Belfian, are you going to replace Silent Cold with this Darkstone? Maybe. If you're missing that little bit of critical rate. Overall, you end up doing less damage though. If you do replace Silent Cold with this one. But it does free up Belfian to have more reflex, because you are switching out the blue slot for dark slot, so you can put in a blue pass, which has increased reflex, so it does give Belfian a little bit more reflex. If you put it on hammers, you're kind of replacing Endless Burning Matter. Again, it's on and off. I'm not seeing it as immediately a great stone, but it's not bad stone. It's kind of like Judgment of Radiance. If you really wanted to make use of it and make it work, it can work. Cells is holding that. If Celis is holding your Endless Burning Matter, would you really be running? I guess you would. I guess. I'm not denying your argument, but it feels like, I don't feel like everyone's gonna run Celis EVM. And even if you do, there's a high chance you're gonna run Belfion instead of Hammerus. And in that case, I would argue Silent Cold is better. So overall, I do rate it like a 3 out of 5. It's an okay stone. It's pretty good for starting players if they do happen to accidentally combine for it and they do lack other stones. But I don't think it is a optimal stone. 5 new unique stones have been added to Scout. You guys can now scout Garden of Red Flame, Eye of the Storm, Heart of Minerva, El Riparian, and Residue of Madness. So get ready for all those El Riparian characters. Wouldn't it be better a IC Hammers and an EVM chair? It would be faster, but the Ample from Kenrel Hammers will end up doing more damage. The Ignition Callus does not give that much more pass effect. Yeah, basically you would run the Dark Unique Stone specifically for the crit, not so much the pass effect. The pass effect, while it is a big number, is not the reason why you want to use a stone. Because if you already had the crit, you would definitely not use the stone. And if you don't have the crit, it's the only other reason why you would consider using the stone. Universe server has been added to the game. It is the one that follows the new Galaxy server. So again, there's another new server coming in. People from the Japan server can use the current data, and they're being shuffled into the Universe server. Okay, it does mean people that were playing the Japanese server are not using their current data in the global server or any other server. It will only be in the Universe server. So the Universe server, while it is going to be a new server, it does not represent it's going to be free from high-end characters or high-end character accounts. Japanese language has been added to the game. You can change the language of all the stuff to Japanese. However, there are no voice actors, which is kind of what a lot of people really wanted, but that's due to their contract issues, so they're not going to have voice acting. Rip everybody. And this is the part I was talking about. The compensation for this is the compensation for the Japanese server only. You get 1 Litra, and you get Extreme Evolution. Oh, Extreme Evolution would be given per 1 superb power-up. Legendary player power-up stats. Oh my god, it's so confusing to read. The next compensation is for us, and this is the one I'm talking about. Every one of us, okay? Everyone here gets 1,000 crystals. 156 random box classic. So now it does include Jiho and Elos when you do receive it. and 1 unique Spirit Stone box. It's a box. It is not a ticket, it is a box, which is why I think it's a random one. Amplify power-up ticket has been added. This is the exchange of APU. Every APU you transfer is going to be 1-to-1. I do fear there's a limitation that when you transfer it has to be characters of the same stars. I mean, it makes sense, right? Otherwise a bunch of people would just transfer 2 stars over onto 6 stars. The shop menu has been modified, gold feature has been integrated into the crystal shop, UI, blah blah blah. Okay, the price and detail of the crystal shop has been modified. 3-star Litras are now 250 crystals each. I actually think this is overpriced, and I do not recommend anyone to buy it, especially even if you are gonna whale. And here's why I'm gonna tell you why. If you took your 250 crystals and you used it to farm nothing but GP or gold during one of the minion matches, you could easily scout your 3-star Litras by pressing the scout button, using all that gold, and you will definitely find more 3-star Litras. I do have a list where there is a streamer before, his name is Yuichi. He was streaming his scout for Battlefield and he used 150 million gold. Okay, so it's a pretty high statistic, and they scouted for a legendary player. I was counting the amount of gatekeepers they got, and based on Yuichi's record, you can expect to find at least 8 good keepers with 1 barely any Mary Nico. Okay, just 1 Mary Nico without any upgrades. You can find 8 gatekeepers for every 2 million you spend. I did not round it down to 1 million every 4 because when you look through it, the track record, that's how it ended up. It being like 2.2 million gave you about 8 significant gatekeepers. I'm talking about I ratioed it down to 14 Neris because apparently 3-star Neris is extremely common. So it was like 14 Neris to every 6 or so Litras or Beelzebub combined. But again, I used I used 150 million as a track record, so if you're gonna spend 250 crystals on Litras, I do not recommend it at all. I mean, even if you do have the cash, I guess so, but I just don't see this being any good. The next one is the power-up transfer ticket. 8 crystals per 8 crystals per power-up. You can think of it as each power-up is 1 refill. Your refills will be based on your stamina. If you have Sigmund, you get 80 stamina. 16 if you get the max 50% reduction. Right, you get 16 matches of gold for swirly matches. If you run 16 matches, I feel confident in saying that you probably get enough swirly, enough gold to use to do to get 1 plus up stat upgrade. So if you do have time, it is definitely better to use your crystals on farming than it is to transfer. So again, it's not really worth it in my opinion. Amplify power-up transfer ticket. The transfers are... I don't know what they mean by here. Oh wait, never mind. I do know what they mean. Look how I can go from 100 to 6,000 crystals. 6,000. It's absolutely ludicrous. Gold buff. 6 hours for 150 crystals. You can purchase up to 5 times per month. It is decent. It is better than having to use dimension stones, but I still don't like the value of it. I think basically everything here is overpriced. I honestly think everything here is overpriced. I would not be surprised if people were salty about it on the community. Mathematically, I do think that everything is overpriced. It's not very fair. Yeah, it is. Yeah. If you want a gold buff, this is probably the best value. I mean, if you want to spend crystals, honestly, the gold buff is the only one that's actually good. But I think everything else is overpriced. Honestly. They haven't actually changed anything else. The price and items and dimension stop has been modified. The unique stone has gone down by 100. The new star has gone down by 100. The classic pick has gone down by 150. This is the worst one. I don't know why you would ever use 300 dimension stone for a classic star. Select 4 stars. Rare spirit stone down by 50. Also a terrible idea. Never do this one. Select a 5-star manager. Down by 450. This is the biggest discount. But with good reason, because nobody freaking uses it as well. You cannot buy any managers that are exclusive to shop. So every manager you can scout. You're basically saving 1800 GP for 450 dimension stone. That is absolute ludicrous. It's still not worth it. If this thing was worth like 30 dimension stone, maybe it's worth it. Just so you can get the maxed out Hazel. Anything in 3 digits is never worth it. Never get this one. Especially if you're a new player, never get it. Ever, ever, ever. Litra Evolve has been deleted due to it being added in the Crystal Shop. This guy is a total liar. They basically removed the 5-star Litra and made you have to buy 5 of these 3-star Litras. Right? That costs you 1,250 crystals to get 1 5-star Litra. Again, you are baited. 1,250 crystals. Think about it. 1,250 crystals. 1,250 crystals. You might as well just freaking scout with that. Or just bomb it into just doing a draw. You're gonna get 40 draws. At least. And if you don't get a 5-star from there, that's okay. Yeah, it's not a 5-star Litra. This is why I'm saying it's not worth it. It is a 3-star Litra at 250 crystals. This is absolute expensive. Not worthwhile. 2 times gold is honestly the only one that could be some value, because you do end up getting a lot more crystals than you get dimension stones. 3 times the value for it. Kind of about the trade-off. The Crystal Shop has been improved. I don't know what they're saying they improved. They will now provide more products at a reasonable price. I don't know. I'm pretty sure everything on here is not worth except, well, just, honestly, nothing is really worth. I honestly think the improved part is kind of a BS. And reasonable is not reasonable because, again, I gave you guys the math for it. I could honestly write a post on how unreasonable this is, and I probably will. Just to submit it. I've done it before. And I feel like I might do it again. But I'm telling you guys now, as a viewer, don't get baited by this. This is expensive. Honestly, it's expensive. It's very expensive. Anything else has been improved, blah 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 blah. Chat function is pretty good. Improving that, hopefully. Tutorial quest has been improved, I guess. Added the display order for information button. This part. All things considered, this is probably one of the better changes, especially if you're a whale. If you want to spend money in this game, the packages they are offering is okay. They added mileage point to this. 300 mileage point is, well, 6 stars. Not good, not bad. But at least you're guaranteed to get 6 5-star units, right? This is basically telling you you're getting 6 of them, for sure. 100% of the time, you're getting at least 6. And then you get to spend your 1800 crystals, which does give you another one. I mean, you do 60 draws, right? So you get 7.5. I'll pay 7.5 5-stars. Pretty, overall, is pretty decent. The GP package, this is a ripoff. If you compare it to the one above it, this is a major ripoff. Like, really? You get 500 crystals and 50 dimension stone for 300 less crystals and 2 less guaranteed 5 stars. Oh yeah, you can! Oh, you're right. You're right. Then multiply it 10 times. Oh my god, this is jebaited. Never mind. This is a jebait. This is my bad. Correction. Oh, I'm gonna edit that from... Let us edit that part out. This part is also a ripoff. Never mind. Jebaited. Jebaited indeed. Get it, got it, got him. 30-day crystal package. You can choose one of the two. Due to the 30-day crystal package modification, users will receive the remaining crystal from the 30-day crystal package during the Galaxy Live update. If you were cheeky and you bought your 30-day crystal package right now, you immediately get your 750 crystals. This is still remain one of the best bundles ever. 750 crystals for $5. $5 is your subscription. It's a monthly fee. It's basically 5 cups of coffee, give or take. Really expensive coffee is like about one cup of very expensive coffee. This one is always, the GP package has always been like that. This package is 2100 crystals with 2.4 million gold for 6 times the price. If you can afford it, it's not that bad. It is quite a hefty amount. You get less value, but this package is really good. If you can afford it. This $30 is much better than everything up here. Definitely better than this one, the GP one, and definitely better than these ones. Oh, they also added the stickers to the iOS shop. This does not go on Android. Pretty important detail. Look, there's a Beth sticker. Can someone read Korean? Like, capable of reading Korean, read this name. Apparently, this is the designer for their stickers. That's the artist name. I can't read Korean. China IP aren't able to use these stickers. User guessed with China IP will be restricted due to the China government regulation. Get wrecked. Oh man, we've been reading these patch notes for an hour, but now we're down to the actual part, the balancing. Everyone loves these balancing. And someone mentioned the long shot, and we're gonna get to it right here, right now. So, the cooldown times of the active shot and block skills has been modified. They dropped from 12 minutes to 10 minutes. This matches up perfectly with your assist. So if your assist active pass, there's a pretty good chance they will active shot, and then the cooldown will be the same. This is good for your PvE, whereas you like to pair up your skill shots, so now you don't have to wait an additional 2 minutes if you are very good at time management, and pretty lucky at the same time. Overall, it's not too important of a change. Then the important thing to note, though, is that you're still getting it underneath the active block phase, but your time gap is now much shorter, okay? So if the ball gets stuck, the active block will be up more likely against your active shot than ever. This actually does end up reducing the potential damage you take, but not necessarily. So matches will end sooner, but matches that are long will take longer to finish. Uriel gets a specific little notations. Uriel goes from 5 minutes to 4 minutes. Honestly, I wish they would just seriously just buff Uriel. This change does not help her. It does not help her. Just decreasing it by 1 minute does not help her. I don't know what they're thinking. But it does not. I mean, you get to use your active a little bit sooner, but you're really gonna end up doing the same thing. Active long range shooting. It goes from 2 bars of spirit from 18 minutes to 1.5 bars of spirit to 12 minutes, dropping by 6 minutes. That's pretty important. That's a huge deal. Dropping amount of spirit bar usage. Also a huge deal. Pinole won't pin you down as hard. Being able to go from 18 minutes to 12 minutes means you're actually able to shoot 3 times easily in a match, as opposed to before. Where you probably cut it pretty close. You shoot it 18 minutes. You can shoot it 3 times, really. But you'd be pretty hard strapped at 18 minutes. With 12 minutes, you can shoot long shot 3 times. How do I feel about this? It's because of the next thing. Block skills. Previously, it goes from 20 minutes, now it goes down to 15 minutes. King Jin's cooldown time is still 10 minutes, which means he actually theoretically lost value. Basically, King Jin cooldown time will match with the enemy's active shot, so he can block every active shot the enemy takes. Assuming they don't use Jibril. Active long-range shooting, how it works supposedly is only when you use a long-range shot and then it gets blocked by the goalkeeper and it doesn't kill them, the ball gets reflected onto their forward line. It does not affect any other shot, it only affects long-range shooting. When it comes to long-range shooting, I don't think it truly matters. Usually if you're doing it in PvE, like with Gene, you will one-shot the enemy. So it going to your front line is not a big deal. That said, what I am concerned is, it means the AI might be tempted to block a long-range shot. AIs have been proven now be able to decide on whether to attack or not after considering active skills. This could mean a lot of things, and I don't actually know what it means specifically. The argument here was because Gene was a leader, he tempted to attack before he used a long shot. So here he probably used his long shot, but a long shot without a active pass is kind of pointless, and it doesn't do a lot of damage in PvP. So you most likely manual this. Critical attack resistance modified so it can drop below 0. I don't even know what happens when you can drop it below 0, really. Bug fixes. Fix the issue of the Hellblazer displaying the champion match at the Coliseum of Despair. Fix the issue of Elo skill. Resist against the unwelcome, not offsetting certain active skill buff skills. Teddy is the only character that's possible to reduce it. So if the character has 0 counterattack resistance, it is possible to reduce it below 0. But let's be honest. Would you really notice it? I'm not saying it's not something they should check about. I just seems kind of silly for it to happen in that game. Modify the stealing effects to be applied to increase and decrease of debuffs type passive skill. What? Whoa. Well, this is interesting. Fix the issue of the Universe League emblem that you acquired from the Galaxy League to be displayed as a Galaxy League. People like Inox got downgraded with this bug. His badge, his E-badge got downgraded from Universe to Galaxy League. Modify stealing effect applied onto to be applied to increase and decrease of debuff passive effect. This is due to when characters like Kuro and Bora and then they attack a character that has been debuffed from attack. A debuff does affect knocked out player. What this line actually means is when Bora and Kuro were stealing from a character underneath the debuff passive effect, they were stealing the base attack rather than stealing the changed attack. So if you run Lilith, that reduces attack power, or you had Celestia that was reducing attack power, the enemy Kiro that was, how do you put it? When your Kiro's stealing from them, even though you're debuffing, your Kiro is actually stealing more attack than it should have. It's a little bit complicated, but that's what it means. It's because of how the stupid debuff works. Debuff was not counted as part of the change modifier for the base change. And when you're stealing stats, it didn't steal it. I noticed this because one of the team I was fighting was a Dark Whirlwind team, and he had a Kiro and a Lilith. And he was stealing a ton of attack power that I didn't have on Celestia. Because his Lilith was reducing my Celestia, who already had like no attack power. And his Kiro was stealing like 400 plus, when Celestia only had like 600 attack power, so Kiro obviously does not steal 60%. Overall, it wasn't completely game-breaking, but I mean, it does make a difference for some people. It does. Like, if you run Duke and you have like a shit ton of attack power, there you go. Fix the issue of prohibited words that are only applied to CNS, nothing displayed as stars. Because of the Chinese and their filtering, now you guys don't get a bunch of random stars when you're typing words that shouldn't have been banned because censoring. Pretty good! A buff to chat! Oh my god, the chat gets buffed! Fix the issue with the Universe League image in the Galaxy Super League National ranking. Oh man, there goes my fake Universe League badge. That moment when I was actually ranked 5th in Canada for some reason, with my incredibly horrible team. Fix the issue of displaying incorrect star image of evolution. What? Fix the issue of incorrect Spirit Stone image. Fix the issue of the enemy spirit being recovered when making a pass under a certain situation. This is Zabroy. This one's Zabroy. The Zabroy buff. It's the Zabroy. This is Zabroy. They're not mentioning it, but this is definitely Zabroy. Fix the issue of the shield effect info being omitted from Galaxy Live. Interesting. Fix the issue where users are being able to tap info of normal bucket. What? From the secret library. Wait, so now you're unable to look at extreme evolution you don't have? You got rejected. What it means, are you talking about the Zabroy bug, or are you talking about this one? The secret library. The secret library means... Oh, Zabroy is when... Oh wait, Enos is already explaining it, I won't repeat it. Feel free to read it. Secret library refers to the book. The player book, the collection book bonus you get for your crystals, where you can collect your crystals. If you don't own the character, you can still click on the character, click on the extreme evolution, you can look at all their skills. So the secret library is just a book. Yeah, it's actually punishing the player that uses Zabroy. So it is an important bug they had to fix. It hurts Zabroy users. But yeah, secret library refers to the book, the player book. That's what it means. Translation, man. Fix the issue of Spirit Stone. thumbnail displaying stars. Okay. Fix the issue of being able to see active shoots twice in Galaxy Live under certain situations. I've actually experienced this one. This one is when one of the player kind of lags, but he doesn't lag all the way, he just kind of lags. So when they shoot you active, you kind of watch yourself die twice. You get to watch one in slow-mo too. Feels extra bad. Fix the issue of the UI being displayed incorrectly when you're accepting a Galaxy Live invitation while powering up a Spirit Stone. Okay. Fix the issue of the effect immunity icon not being displayed when arranging the Super Gravity Immunity player. This one is mostly because of Miki. Fix the issue with Facebook login. GG. Fix the translation errors regarding skill descriptions. I hope this means Leah, because, freaking Leah. Fix the issues of displaying the wrong amount of Spirit Stones when you possess a large amount of Spirit Stones. I'm looking at you, Inox. I'm looking at you, Whales. The guys that actually have too much Spirit Stone. And that's about it. Service termination announcement. Oh my god, what could this be? Boom.